Today I'd like to read The Cat Who Wore a Pot on Her Head by Jan Slepian and Ann Seidler. There was a cat named Bendemelina. She lived in a house on Cat Street where cats and kittens lived all together. Brothers and sisters, cousins and friends were in and out and all about. What a noisy place it was. One day when Bendemelina was playing, she found a shiny pot. She put it on her head. Suddenly all the noise was gone. She liked the quiet so much, she decided to wear the pot over her ears all the time. The same day, Mother Cat said to Bendemelina and her 9 little brothers and sisters, "I have to take care of a sick friend this afternoon, but oh dear, how am I going to clean the house and cook your supper too?" "Don't worry," said her kittens. "When you come home, supper will be ready and the house will be all clean. We'll take care of everything." Mrs. Cat took Bendemelina with her to the sick friend's house. "I brought her to run this errands," Mrs. Cat told her sick friend, and soon Mrs. Cat wanted something. "Bendemelina, Bendemelina, run home and tell your brothers and sisters that it's time to put the fish on to bake." Here's Bendemelina with a pot on her head. Bendemelina didn't hear exactly what her mother had said. Her ears were still under the pot. Everything she heard was all mixed up. Did she say to put the smish on to fake or to put the bish on the lake? Bendemelina ran home as she wondered. Oh, she must have said to put soap in the cake. "Mama wants you to put soap in the cake," she told her brothers and sisters. All the kittens wanted to please Mother, so they put soap in the cake. Here they are, putting soap in the cake. Almost as soon as Bendemelina got back to her mother, Mrs. Cat said, "Bendemelina, Bendemelina, I forgot to tell the children to put the soup on to heat. Run home and tell them to put the soup on to heat." Again, Bendemelina didn't hear very well because of the pot. Put the boop on the beep? Mup the moop on the feep? Oh, she must have said to iron the meat. Once Mrs. Cat said, "Mama says to iron the meat," she told the kittens at home. They all wanted to please Mother, so they got out the iron and ironing board and ironed the meat. All afternoon, Bendemelina ran back and forth telling her brothers' sisters what Mother wanted them to do. Once Mrs. Cat said, "Bendemelina, Bendemelina, run home and tell the children to sweep out the hall." Feep on the ball? Meep out the mall? Gleep Betty Ball? Oh, Mother must have said to hang the chairs on the wall, Bendemelina decided. "Mama wants you to hang the chairs on the wall," Bendemelina told the other kittens. The children all wanted to please Mother, so they got the hammer and nails and hung the chairs up like pictures. Soon all the neighbors gathered around the house to watch. There were so many watching that Bendemelina had to crawl between their legs to get back to her mother. Once again, Bendemelina's mother had a message for the children. Tell them to be sure to leave the key in the lock. Remember, leave the key in the lock. Bendemelina raced home, saying to herself, "Gleave the bee in the smock, smick the smee on the sock, sicky wee wubby gawk." Oh, she must have said to sew clothes on the clock. "Sew clothes on the clock," Bendemelina told her brothers and sisters, and to please their mother, that is what they did. Bendemelina ran again back to her mother. Bendemelina, supper must be nearly ready. Go tell the children to make something to drink, Mother said. Make Whiffly sink? Want Buffalo Bink? Oh, she must have said to put a horse in the sink. When Bendemelina told her brothers and sisters what Mother had said, they asked Mr. Horse, who lived down the street, if he would stand in the sink just to please their mother. By this time, animals had come from all over to see for themselves what was happening at Mrs. Cat's house. There were big animals and small animals and in-between size animals. Mrs. Cat was almost ready to leave her sick friend when she said, Bendemelina, run home and ask one of your brothers to fix my chair. Up in the air, sticky pear, purple hair? By the time Bendemelina got home, she decided her mother had said, ask in a bear. And to please Mother, the kittens asked in a big friendly bear from the neighborhood. Mrs. Cat looked at all the neighbors and friends. She looked at Bendemelina's head. Then she looked at her smiling kittens. She just couldn't stay angry. She knew it was all the fault of the pot. Everyone can stay for supper, said Mother Cat. She took the pot off Bendemelina's head and made 2 holes for ears in it. Then she put it back on Bendemelina. Bendemelina, give me a hug, said Mrs. Cat. And did Bendemelina give her mother a bug or a rug? No, she gave her just what she wanted, because now she could hear.